Good evening. We are live. Yay. Oh, and Kay is here from Florida. Welcome, Kay. And let's see who else we've got here. Carla from hot and steamy Oklahoma City. Linda from Ravenna, New York. Welcome, my friend. And Linda, my Michigan buddy, is here. Cactus Deb is here from a cloudy Glendale, Arizona, where it only got to 98 degrees today. Woohoo is right. They say Arizona is the only place that you can say it's only going to be 90 degrees or it's only going to be 100 degrees and everybody smiles. It's not what we're saying. We got heat indexes to the next 2 days, right, Ken? Step it up. So they're saying it's going to be in the hundreds. Rena is here from Illinois. She made it on time this week. Welcome. And Regina, my friend, is here from North Georgia. I hope you're cooler down there, Regina. Okay, so what we've got tonight is hang on, we got to take care of some technical issues Ken's having here. Okay, so we're going to open up that panel.
Look,
Huh,
I tried that.
interesting. Ken's got some real technical issues going on here. I can't explain it, Ken.
Can't be much help if I can't read.
Ken cannot read the comments tonight. I don't know what happened. He couldn't get them last week either. He had some problems with it. Must be the way the computer settings are. I'll have to take a look at them. Lee, good evening from Spencerville, Indiana. Joey, it's good to see you as well. Um, Here's what we got going on tonight. We're going to do some spinning waves, 3 templates. I want to show you what we can do with just a straight line. At first, I looked at it and thought, what can I do with just a straight line, right? But then I kind of figured out a couple of things that I think would look really nice. So what I did was I went ahead and first off, this is my Spinning Wave 6. It works on a 12-inch block, and this makes a 2-inch center. And it's important to know that it makes a 2-inch center because everything is going to come off of the tack, which is right here, and it's right here. So I'm going to put this in this particular template. You only need staple tape on one side. So here we go. Ken's over there trying to figure out how to get the comments up. And I'm not well enough versed to know that.
Can't read them.
He said he cannot read or respond to your comments. He's sorry. He wishes he could. No, you're not useless. So what we're going to do, now he feels useless. What we're going to do is we are going to line up this arrow on the line that we're stitching on. Okay. So I want to stitch on line 1. Lines. So I'm going to put on a little more light. I'm going to go ahead and draw my bobbin thread up. And we're going to pull that to the top. I do like to do that. It keeps the back neater. And most of us work with Quilt as you go with our templates. And if you don't, you still want to do that because the back of your quilt is the finished product when you're done. Oh my goodness, lots of activity here. Oh, Love's Pets 3 is here. She is in Dewey. And okay, Ken Lee said, if the comments are blacked out, go to your computer settings and turn off dark mode. She was having that problem on Facebook. Okay, I don't know if he's really quite sure what that means. It would be your computer settings, honey. Yeah.
Dark mode.
Dark mode. I believe it's on the first page of your settings. All right. So what I did on line 1 is I went ahead and I put a hey Kathy, good to see you. I need to pull back a little bit. There we go. I put a mark here. This mark is, I believe, 6 inches. No, it can't be 6 inches, can it? Oh my goodness. It was so long ago, I don't remember. 6 inches is right. It is 6 inches. Isn't that terrible? You can't be out of storage. Huh. Okay, so at 6 inches, I put a mark. I'm going to stitch to that mark and back in. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Nice and straight. And my foot wasn't tightened when I checked it before. Spacing gauge, definitely want to use your spacing gauge. And we'll get rid of that thread off of our hands, move our hands up. And I'm going to stop when I hit that 6-inch mark. Now I'm going to head back to the inside. Nice and steady. Remember to slow down a little bit when you're using templates. It just will help your stitches look a little more even. Sometimes, like mine, a little smaller. But what I'm finding out with a lot of the templates that I use, a little bit smaller stitch length is actually better because our stitches only stitch in a straight line. And if we make our stitches a little smaller on curves, especially, it's going to make that curve look a lot smoother. Now what I'm going to do is you see where I was, I'm going to twist my template. Now I've got the arrow on reference line number 2. I'm going to use my spacing gauge. I'm now going to stitch on this portion of the template to the next reference line. Now, you guys all know, because you've seen me do it, when I have a Spinifex template, I like to put that 2-inch circle in before I start because it helps me get from reference line to reference line cleaner. This particular set of templates, you don't need to do that because this travels from reference line to reference line beautiful, okay? So you don't need to put that in beforehand. So here I am on reference line number 2, and I think that I put that one in at 5 inches on the mark. So let's go ahead and let's stitch up. Oh, my foot is Isn't that something? My foot just decided to take a nap. Okay, here we go back. I love the look of the double stitching. I love how it's bold and crisp. And you notice I have a very high contrast. Normally, I don't think I do that. For quilts, I don't go quite that high a contrast. Okay, now we're going to go on to reference line number 3, and this is at 4 inches. So I'm going to stitch over and stitch up to my reference line or my mark that I put in at 4 inches. And back to the center. And stop with that needle down. Now I've done a 5-inch mark. So let's go ahead and go over to the 5-inch mark. And we're going to go all the way up. The 5-inch mark and 6-inch mark, I have to kind of move my hands a little bit. Remember to keep your hands loose. Don't push on them. Take it nice and easy. These are good projects to make sure that you've got a full bobbin or that you have enough bobbin. One of the things you don't want to do is have to stop on one of these lines. You certainly can line it up. You have the skill to do it. But, quite honestly, it's just no fun. And there we go, our needle down. Now we're going to go to the next line, which is 6 inches. And reference line number 4, right? 1, 2, 3. Yep, line number 4. And we have some very playful puppies running around here. Hey, hon? They are feisty. And it's really kind of funny because it's the smallest one and the biggest one going at it. They love to play with each other. And the smallest one is usually the one who starts it. Tippy, enough. Okay, we're going back out to 6 inches here. And back in. And yes, I did check my bobbin before we started tonight because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to run out. Y'all know I don't mind playing bobbin roulette, but there's just times it's not easy to get back to the spot you need to be at. All right, so here again is 5 inches. And I'm going to use my spacing gauge, stitch to the next line. Oh, you guys just wouldn't believe this if you saw it. And we're going to come out to the 5-inch mark. Can anybody guess what it is the shape we're going to be making with this? And when I get back to the center, I'm going to go ahead and check the comments. Needle down. I'm going to come here and check the comments. Enough, you two. Okay, let's go back. All right. Settings display on your.
A restart.
Oh, he had to restart it, Lee.
Oh, I get it.
Okay, Janelle, hi from South Dakota. So good to have you with us. Bernice from Texas is watching from her new sewing rooms. Congratulations, Bernice. That is awesome. That is just good. Oh, Lisa from Sugar Land, Texas, back from her retreat last week. Did you have a good time? It was so nice to see you here. Joey asked how many fur babies. We've got 3. As if we need 3. We've got a border collie, and then we have 2 miniature Australian shepherds. The shepherds are the younger ones. The border collie is the older one, but you'd never know it. I love it. Tippy says, Mom, I'm just having fun. Darn, yeah, I know. She stole the little one's bed. Now she's going to take a rest. Well, Kathy, so good to see you from Texas. I'm always happy when you pop in. Uh, Marcy said it looks like fireworks. You know what? When I first did this, I thought about like a like a starburst coming out or something. So you're very close online. I think you could do 32 rotations or 24 rotations, and it really would look like fireworks. Oh, yay, Ken fixed it. Awesome, awesome. And Lisa says maybe a star. And Lisa, you're really close. You're really close. And she says, Lisa, I love this. Lisa had wonderful times with the best quilting friends. That's what our life is all about. That's where we're going. 5 fur babies, loves pets, 3. Oh yeah, you've got more than we do. But you know what? We love them just the same. We really do. Okay, we're going to finish out these next 3 lines here. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do. And you guys have some really awesome ideas for what this looks like and what you think it might be. And here we go. We're heading out to this is our 4-inch mark. And then we're going to head back. I'm so glad we got our technical difficulties squared away. Only halfway?
Well,
Halfway, Ken said.
so
Well, if you're in So Steady, that's the one that has the most people in it. So,
good looking one.
Ken said all the good looking ones. I think we might have good looking ones in the other side too. So here we go. We're back to 5 inches. Wow. My foot is not cooperating tonight, guys.
Maybe.
The problems of doing live, right? I can't turn off and edit the video and do it over. That's okay. You guys are always very gracious to me. You allow me to make mistakes and you don't complain. Sometimes I think you should. Okay, this is our last one on this design. So what I've got going here is a 6-inch. Now I'm going to stop when I get to the outside of my 6-inch. right on that mark, I'm going to stop. Oh, I'm going to get these other guys out of my way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my template. And I am going to connect these dots. Okay. And here we go. And we have to stop with our needle down because now we're going to be making another angle to come in on. What you may have noticed is on that last line here, I did not stitch it double. And that was on purpose. And now we're going to come back out. Here we go. To that mark, the end of our line of stitching. Make sure you have your needle down, and we're going to come out to the 6-inch mark next. I love these spacing gauges. They take all the guesswork out of. Oh, speaking of spacing gauges, I don't know if you guys have seen the new ones yet, but I just love them. This is the new one. It's got 3/4 of an inch marking here. It's got our quarter, our half, and a scant 1/4 inch mark to line your needle and your foot up with. I love the yellow. Isn't that cool?
Mhm.
All right, so now we're going to come down to the 5-inch again. Now I could use my 12-inch arc for this, but I've got this I've got this one out. My tack fell out. And it's got a straight edge on it, so it's gonna work just fine for us. And down we go. Come on. Of course, I'm just doing half the design because you guys don't want to be here till midnight. Okay, back up to the 5-inch. Stop on that one. It's a little bit sloppy on that one. And go back up to the 6-inch again. And I'm going to put my needle down. Now, what I'm going to do here, I want you guys to see this. Isn't it cool? Absolutely love it. I want these lines to be as heavy as these lines. So I'm going to come all the way back around what I just did, and I'm going to double those lines of stitching. Make sure you got a good view here. And here we go. Now, if you have decorative thread, it would be just awesome to put decorative thread on the outside of this and use your decorative thread foot. The other thing I think would be really cool is a fill design inside of these. Different fill designs in each of the blades. And I got off a little bit. No worries. I'm not perfect. How's it going, Ken?
Yeah.
Big size over there. Okay, here we go. Back to the other side. You'll notice I only did a half. Now, the reason I like to put this line on the outside is because it makes the shape visible, easy to spot. If these lines were left open, which of course they certainly can be, you're still going to get the design, but it's not going to be as apparent as if you stitched it in. Okay, we come on up to here. Stop at the top. I'm going to come back to the beginning. Of course, you would have gone all the way around the circle, but if you only have a half a space, this would be a great design for that as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my pin back in because it fell out. And I want to make sure I get it back exactly where it was. You know, a little bit of tape probably would have been a good idea. And there's the hole, which was stayed there. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and put my template back on. And we're going to come back to the center. So the straight line allows us a whole lot of opportunity. And there we go. And there is our design. What do you guys think? You like it? Okay. And Jen, hi, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Linda thinks it looks like a seashell. Joyce, hi, glad you made it. Looks like a spider's web. Yeah, I thought about that. So what we would do is take and put our 4-inch arc here and then switch it out to the 6-inch arc here. And yes, it would look just like a spider. I love that. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Joey says, if you were going to go all the way around the last line, that you would do would be single stitch, and that took you to the outside perimeter. You're right, Joey. If you single stitched it, you would go to the outside perimeter, going all the way around. But I kind of wanted to keep the weight of the thread even all the way around. And that's why to me it was important to go back to the center with that double line of stitching. You know, it's just me, Joey. What can I say? Oh, Joey, absolutely you can one. Anybody can do this one. Oh, Lee, you saw it too. Outline of a barn with only half done. I thought of a barn too. Oh, okay, so let's keep going here. Whoops. You'll see the template's too long for my machine, guys. So what I have to do is just pull it out, turn it over, and, and make sure I've got it on the right angle for this. Back in. So I always have to be going from left to right. I can't go from right to left through my machine because it's too small. My machine is too small. Do I find that to be a problem? No, not most of the time. I really don't. Um, you learn to compensate to do things on the left side as opposed to the right side. I know for you girls that had those big machines, that'd be full house one, and you can fit any template you want in there, and I think that's pretty cool. But alas, I stole Ken's machine. Okay, here we go. So this is similar to what we've done over here. It's just going to be a different rotation of lines that I think is pretty interesting. And again, you can enclose this one. You don't have to, but you certainly can if you want to. And what I've done is I've come down by a half of an inch on these and I kept going. In other words, I did not go back up like I did on this one. We're just going to keep going down. Okay, here we go. Back to center. Needle down. I'm going to move this over. Use my spacing gauge. You know, that's another thing that I guess I would like to mention. If you're doing something like this and you're using your spacing gauge, if you do it down here, what can happen is, look, up here, I'm actually on the line. Where I want to space this is right at the last stitch that I'm going to make. This is automatically going to be 1/4 of an inch in here because that's how the template was made. But because it's easy to rotate a little bit, it can get off by quite a bit here. So my advice, and it's free, so you have to take it for what its value is. What you need to do is use your spacing gauge at the last stitch, okay? Because when I get here, I no longer can make this template go off to the side. All righty, so here we go. We're gonna stitch over. And we're gonna come out and go back. Move my hands. You'll notice even when I move my hands, I do not take them off of the template. I just kind of scooch them down. That always has worked best for me. And you know, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's right for you. And if you have a different way of doing things, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Your results are going to be just as beautiful. They're going to be absolutely beautiful. I think I have done more quilting since I started quilting with templates simply because it's so much easier. You know, I've been free motion quilting for a very long time. And to be honest with you, if I have to start free motion quilting again, I got to practice because I find the templates to be so much easier. And it's guided free motion. That's the grand part of it. And can you incorporate free motion into template and ruler work? Absolutely. And and more, does such a beautiful job incorporating the two together. I really hope that you guys see her stuff and take her classes because she is an excellent instructor and her work is just beautiful. Okay, here we go. I'm going to stitch over to the next side again, to the next rabbit side. And when I'm done and take this off, I really want to show you this center because it stitches out so beautiful. Okay, there we go. Oh, here, back down. Stop at the center. Only a couple more to go. There we go. Up to the mark and back down. Needle down. And this is our last one. And I am going to go ahead and go all the way down on this line and close up the circle. Okay. So what we've got here, and I do really like this design. And what you can do is you can come back up on the other side, start out farther, go down different increments, and it can really look awesome. Now, there is one other thing that I'd like to show you that we can do on this, and it's using 2 templates from our starter set. Okay. And those are, look, I have such a mess in here, guys. Those are the 4-inch arc. And there's the 6-inch. And I need to find, and the 4-inch. I know it's in here. Okay, time to just take them all up, right? Ay, ay, ay. You know I've told you the story about the 4-inch being my nemesis, and now I absolutely love it. Okay, so what you'll want to do is on the larger side, the larger lines, you will want to more than likely use a 6-inch arc as opposed to the 4-inch. The 4-inch, can you use it? Yes, you can. I think the 6-inch just gives you a little nicer flow. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. I am going to use my spacing gauge to come to the top of the next line. And this is a really soft look compared to what we did with the straight templates. This is not going to be a circle. These arcs are going to look like scallops. I'm only going to put one more of the 6-inch. This is not intended to look like a circle. There we go. Now I'm going to switch over to the 4-inch because my spaces are getting shorter here. If I continue with that 6-inch, what's going to happen is that these lines are really going to flatten out. And I want to try to keep this nice curve going as long as possible. Okay, to that line. And we're starting to flatten out a little bit here. Next one is really going to flatten out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a 3-inch arc. And yes, we do have one. It is right there. This is 3 inches. I'll go ahead and put it there. And again, we're going to keep that roundness. There we go. As I said, not intended to be a circle. And there we go, guys. Isn't that cool? Looks like one of those seashells. An ancient seashell. But this is just some of the things that you can do with the Spinning Wave 6. It covers a 12-inch arc. Hi, Monica. Welcome. Linda says Nautilus. Yes, you're right. Ronnie says, hi, Ronnie. Nice to see you. Okay. Deb said, no question, it is easier to have a big throat space. Many of the reasons she loves her big machine. And you know what? To a degree, I'm jealous. Oh, Janet's here too. Could you use a 4-inch arc and switch directions each line? Oh, yeah, that would be cool, Janet. Janet, that would work too. You certainly could. Where'd my 4-inch go? There we go. So what she's saying is go one this direction, and back and forth. And I do agree. I think that would look really, really awesome. You guys come up with the best ideas. Okay, so that was number 6. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to get number 8 out. And I'm going to get a clean piece of fabric. Whoops. Guess what? I dropped it. Nobody ever expects that out of me, right? Okay. Remember, all of these work on a pin. So this is the number 8 wave. Yep, that's next. Okay. The number 8 wave is different than the one we had last week. The one we had last week came up on here and back down. This one looks more like a pregnant lady. Okay. I'm sorry, but that's what it reminds me of when I look at it. So we're going to go ahead. I've put stable tape on both sides of this one. I'm going to go ahead and put my tack in if I can round it up here. My scissors are magnetic and they're trying to steal the tack. I'm going to come back in here so you guys got a good view. Did you get them both going, Ken?
Well, I can see them both. I can't see them. Yeah, I get both of them working. I mean, 906 quilting and so steady, but I can't see the chat and I can't respond.
Okay. He's still having problems with it. What this combination is. I'm sorry. Well, come on.
What I mean.
There we go. That one didn't want to go. It didn't want to get in the center there. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to start with number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. It's a 16 rotation. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my template in. Now, when I do that, what I'm looking at, because this is a curve, you know, the last one was straight. It was easy to line up. This one is also easy to line up because when you have it straight, you have your arrow here. You have an etched line for line number 16, another etched line for line number 15. And then you are going to use the first line on the template to stay on course, okay? Let me go ahead and get my, I'm going to get my bobbin thread up first. There we go. And I'm going to put that out like that. I want to do it in this direction because I want y'all to see what I'm doing. And again, I'm going to show you the lineup, okay? This, I want to stress that because I want you to make sure that you know how easy it is to line up. Line up on 16, line up on 15, line up on 1, and needle down. Here we go. There we go.
I'm sure that was in camera. Never missed this one now.
That's no good. Ken lost his phone. Now this goes up to a 12-inch block. I'm going to stop right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an arrow sticker and I'm going to put it right here because this is where I want to stop on all my rotations. Okay, now I'm going to come back to center. And I'm coming back to the center. And I'm going to stop with my needle down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that template off, flip it over, and put it back down and line it up again. Exactly the same way. You'll see right here, these etched lines now are going to line up on reference line number 2, reference line number 3. The center here is still going to line up with reference line number 1, and we can see our arrow. I got a little wobble in that. It's okay. It's just a practice piece. I'm going to stop at the arrow, take a stitch, and come back. Now I am back in the center. Cool, huh? So let's go ahead and come to the next. We're going to realign and we're going to come to the next reference line with our needle down. Now you'll notice that I have my template placed on the second side that I did. It doesn't matter which side you do first. It's easier to just do this than tip the template over. That's what my thought process is. Now, if that doesn't work for you, that's fine. Go ahead and flip it each time. If I were a beginner quilter, I definitely would be flipping it each time. Back to center. Back all the way. Needle down. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it off. Now, if you wanted to, guys, you could go all the way around in one direction, come back and go all the way around in the other direction. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay.
I did figure something.
Monica from Durant is here. Welcome. And Ronnie says, hi, Ken. Pam says, finally, here, a beautiful day in Maine. Oh, so nice. Joey says, the Spinning Wave 6, the Spinning Wave 8 came up when I click on it, but I don't know what the third one is. It's Spinning Wave 9, Joey. I don't have them all. The ones I show you are the ones that I own. Mary Lou, really late. That's okay, Mary Lou. You can watch later. That's right.
Huh.
Okay. Ken says he figured it out.
I still don't.
You know what they say, if you don't find them handsome, at least you find them handy. Okay. One of my favorite comedians, Red Green. All righty. And now we're going to go out to the arrow. Stop and go back in. Again, this would be a really awesome place to use some very decorative thread. It would work on this design because it's simple. And the decorative threads, to me, just work better on the simpler templates, the simpler designs. So, whoops, what did I do? I got my template on the wrong side. So I'm going to take it out and I'm going to get it on the right side. Here we go. I want it over here. Remember, my throat just isn't large enough to have it on the other side. I'm also going to take some of this thread out of here. There we go. And I'm going to do one more like this. And then I want to show you what it looks like if you just go around and don't do any flipping at all. Because we still have another template to look at. And go in. And stop there. Take my template out. And I'm going to flip it and come back down on the other side. Move my hands. And it is so easy to make really cool designs with these guys. One more thing that you can do here. Just want to show you. I think it's pretty cool anyway. I need to do it left-handed, but that's all right. I'm going to hold this up. There we go. And I moved it. Okay. And back down. And again, you're going to go all the way to the center and stop. Okay. So this just adds another element to it. And let's go around. I'm going to go to the next line on my little circle up here. And I'm going to line up. I don't need my spacing gauge anymore. What I should do, though, is put another piece of staple tape right here. Because what happens, as you can see, the staple tape is kind of coming off the fabric right here. So this part of the template really doesn't have all that much control without the staple tape. All the way out to the arrow. And back we go. And you'll see that right about here, I need to move my hands. And we're going to come around to the next reference line, needle down. Move my template, move my hands, I'm sorry. Make sure the needle is down when I do that. Back to center. And I'm going to follow the circle to the next reference line. And one more time. Now, if you had a smaller block, you could stop it here. You could stop it anywhere you wanted to. What's neat about this is if you have a square block, you can stop it here, 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 and here to make the square work for you. And back down to the center. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. Now this time I'm just going to be coming one time on each reference line, but it's going to be flipped when I do it. Nice, gentle curve, easy to follow. Now I could flip it again. Wow. There we go. Do it that way, it's easier. There we go. So this is flipping at every reference line. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take that out now. So what we did here is we flipped it one time on each reference line. Flipped one time and stitched a straight line right down the middle. Now, what I think would be cool, guys, all right, is if we put the template like this and end up with a really nice border design to it. I really think that would make an awesome border. This is what it looks like if you just stitch it out. No fancy anything. And this one is by flipping it every line. You get this skinnier space and this bigger, this wider space. Okay, we got one more to look at. And this one is Spinning Wave 9. Again, 12-inch block, 2-inch center. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I'm going to stitch to the next reference line. We're going to line this up. Now, we're going to line this up on the second line inside of these hills and valleys. And I get it. There we go. I'm going to stop it right in the center of this hill. Okay. I do have staple tape on both sides because of the size of my block. Oh, that was kind of silly to put it on that way, wasn't it? Oh, leave it to me. Okay, we're going to go this way on it. There we go. Okay, so what? Oh, I was talking staple tape. Okay. Because I have a smaller block, you'll see my staple tape is right out there and you can't see me, guys. There we go. Okay. Hi, Mona. Okay. There we go. All right. So now I'm heading back to the center. And again, we're going to go ahead and go to our next reference line. I think this looks pretty just like this. Of course, you can flip it. I've shown you how to do that. We did one of the wavy ones last time. And I'm going to do one more. And back to the center. Now, what will happen if I get off a little bit? I'm going to show you because I'm going to get off a little bit on purpose. I'm going to go ahead and put my first pass in. Now, on my second pass, I'm going to pull it back just a little bit after I get going here. There we go. Now here, I'm going to start pushing it forward. And here I'm just going to straighten it out. So what I did was I made a little ribbon coming out of there. This is a fun template, guys. It really is. It's so versatile. You can do so much with it. We just kind of touched on it here tonight. But that's what I have for you. I certainly do hope that you enjoyed this because I love bringing these things to you guys. I really do. I love spending my time with you. I appreciate you very much. I do appreciate the time that you're taking time out of your day to come and see what I have to offer. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share as always. And contact information is under sewsteady.com, elevate, and then you go to the drop down list and we'll have a list of instructors. All of my information is there. You can get a hold of me. You can text me. You can phone me, whichever you want. Thank you, Lee. That's so nice. Um, and I will be happy to work with you if you've got an issue or a problem or just want to talk about a design. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to be doing Spin Effects 2. Oh, Ronnie, thank you. We've talked about you and Sunny several times. Uh, we enjoyed our visit with you guys so much. We really did. So Spin Effects 2 tomorrow morning. And that's all I've got for you guys this week. But I want to just kind of forewarn you that I am working on a project and I am doing ruler quilting and I am doing quilt as you go. But I've got really big blocks and they are a piece. No, Jan, I'm sorry. It's not as much fun. Here you get to chat with your friends while we're doing ruler work, and that's the great part. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to record some of what I'm doing and I'm going to get it up. I don't know if I'm going to go live with it yet or not. I may. Anyway, whatever way we decide I'm going to do it, I will definitely let you know. It's going to be a lot of fun. So until we meet again, guys, let's quilt.